how, like we think of the idea of hope as being like, I know today's bad, but I have hope because I know that tomorrow will be better. Instead of finding comfort in hope, in that way, you completely get rid of the idea of hope. You have comfort and solace knowing that today is bad, but I am comfortable and I'm put at ease and I am at peace knowing that tomorrow is going to be worse. And that just breaks your brain, the first time you hear it, or at least it did to me. But really it's about knowing your situation and having all of the, scary parts of it assessed and going ahead and coming to terms, with yourself and your situation, being able to understand it, and you finding peace that way. Again, I'm probably not only butchering the poem, but also misinterpreting it. But that's what I gathered from it. And I connect with that. It feels really basic to have this guy as your favorite painter. He has such an odd name, and you probably haven't heard his name, but I guarantee that you've seen his work before. You've definitely seen his influence before, which is Zdzisław Beksiński. Sorry if I butchered that. His paintings are known as the quintessential idea of dystopia, what we associate a lot with dystopia, or like forgotten cities or apocalypse and Holocaust. And even if it's not talking about, the actual Holocaust, but like the futuristic dystopian concept of Holocaust. So it's just all around known to be this scary doom-esque. That's the overarching feeling is doom. That's not what I get from his paintings at all. I feel this like overwhelming feeling of calm, like within the first couple seconds of looking at his paintings. And the greatest things about his paintings to me aren't necessarily the subject itself, but how he handles tone, how he handles color palettes, and if the color palettes have meaning, which anyone that's ever theorized about his paintings definitely say that his color palettes have a predetermined meaning. I feel like it's important to point out before we continue on, and this is for any art history buffs that are watching, that I'm completely aware that Zdzisław's most famous quote is, "Meaning is meaningless to me." The full quote is, "Meaning is meaningless to me. I do not care for symbolism, and I paint what I paint without meditating on a story." So if I insinuate anyway that he meant to do anything, I don't mean to contradict the man himself. I more so mean we're kind of suspecting that he meant something. And a reason, especially the color blue, which you can look into that, or maybe I can talk about that, in another video or something like that. So how he deals with tones, and not necessarily his method, but like how he decides it, how he thinks about it. These paintings are like, oh, how the crap did you come up with, the idea to do it like that is amazing. But then also the most influential thing, I think, is his sense of scale. This guy can have one subject, one thing in his photo, or two, well, let's just say one, and have nothing else relative in it. And you somehow already get the sense of scale. He can make something look gigantic, like absolutely gargantuan, next to nothing, next to the background. So because of that, the scale that he creates from his main subject, and it's in this environment, it almost makes the atmosphere itself have scale, that you can almost know the size of the particles in the air that this thing is in, which is nuts to me. And I constantly try to find things that give me the same sense that this guy does. And I know that, for some of you that see it, that you'll see his paintings as all doom and gloom and that's it. But that's not what I, get out of it at all. But I need to do a whole video just on Zdzisław because it just makes me happy.